Hey everybody. Um, One of the things I've been working on lately is recycling plastic. I've been able to make, plates like this. This is about a half-inch thick. It's let me do various things. I've got this big old block here that I'm gonna make something out of later. So one of the things that they don't tell you, or I haven't seen, let me just say it that way, is the keeping your shop clean. There's a couple things you want to watch out for. If you mix different types of plastic, you can run into problems. See, this is a blue lid off a Nalgene bottle, or Nalgene. You can see it didn't bond real well with the HDPE. So you want to make sure you do a good, I thought this was HDPE, it was mislabeled. Do a good job mixing stuff together. The other thing is the blue was much stickier than everything else. It was stuck to the pan. It got a lot, it's very difficult to work with. So when you work with the plastics, make sure you're keeping stuff pure. The thing I wanted to talk about tonight, and I don't really know how this is going to shape out, but science was made in a Hollywood basement or something, but obviously we're not in Hollywood. As you can see here, we've got sawdust and we got plastic flakes. We got sawdust and we got plastic flakes. And, there's like the brothers make, and they have this beautiful shop and everything is perfectly clean. But in the whole point, one of the whole points of getting into the home plastic recycling is it's just a phenomenal material. The HDPE, at least, it's like the hardest oak you've ever worked with. But the problem is, since I'm doing some woodwork and I'm doing some plastic work, and actually a lot of the woodwork is in support of the plastic work, I end up with sawdust and HDPE dirt. The whole place is mixed up with sawdust and HDPE. If you look at my floor, I got leaves, I got sawdust, I got HDPE. And I would like to, since it's a lot of work to make the HDPE into small pieces. I've tried a bunch of different stuff, and we'll talk about that presumably later. So this is almost all HDPE, but there's some sawdust mixed in it. Actually, I'm going to just put this in the HDPE bucket. It's pure enough for me. There's some purists out there that are better people, and but how do we separate this so that we can keep using this HDPE? And I was hoping that the difference in specific gravity would be enough to get the sawdust to hopefully absorb water and settle out, so the carbon content of the water of the sawdust, when the void space becomes full of water, it should settle to the bottom. That's the hope here. I'm going to get nice big mixed collection of sawdust and HDPE down here at the base of the table saw. See, now most of this is HDPE. I've been doing a lot of this plastic work lately, but there's quite a bit of sawdust mixed in there too. Man, that part's pretty good. But you saw there was a lot of sawdust in some of it. Yeah, because I don't want to mix it all in if it's mostly pure. Because this stuff is, like I said, it's a lot of work to chop it up. It's a lot of work to melt it. Labor of love or whatever. All right, so that's getting pretty sawdusty there. So my theory here is I can mix it into the water. And you can see there's a lot of sawdust in that now. Big old wood flake, poplar. Lot of stuff. Where did my stir stick go? Is that okay? My preferred stir stick for stuff like this is a chopstick. You know, got a lot of them. So I'm hoping we mix this in, let it settle out overnight. Now, HDPE has a density of 0.98, 0.99, something like that. So it's always going to float. So I'm hoping that if we get the sawdust wet, it will overnight get saturated. You can see we're getting it down in there. And we can separate this stuff out. So who knows? Who knows? I know there's some leaves in there. All kinds of just grossness. So you can see what we got. So that's option the first. Oh my goodness, I've been talking to myself for 6.5 minutes. All right. And obviously water has a specific gravity of 1. The plastic has a specific gravity of, you know, like 0.99 or 0.98 or something like that. So it should float. And then the sawdust has a specific gravity. You know, obviously wood has got a little less than water, but I'm hoping with it being such small pieces, they'll become saturated and overnight settle to the bottom. And so far, this is starting to look promising. This is starting to look promising. You can see there's a lot of sawdust in the bottom and almost all the plastic's on the top. So I'll throw some more plastic in here before I go to bed, and we'll come back and check this out in the morning. The other thing I want to try is I have some olive oil. It says it's pure. It's got a mild taste. It's imported from somewhere. Let's see if we can find a nice mix of sawdust and HDPE, because I'm kind of curious if this will work faster. This has a specific gravity of about 0.7, so perhaps they'll settle out in this column more quickly. And it's probably on the floor. Yep, it's on the floor. All right. All right. Yeah, you can see we got sawdust, we got HDPE. We got sawdust, we got HDPE. All right. Nice, healthy mixture. Okay, and then I don't know what kind of plastic this is, so I'm throwing it away. And I think I need to adjust the camera here. It's a little more down. A little more down. Okay, so again, I just looked this up. Olive oil has a specific gravity of like 0.7 or something. Oh, these big flakes, I know. That's plastic. This really big, chunky stuff. That's plastic. And no, I don't have a plan to separate the plastic from the olive oil. I mean, if this works, obviously this wouldn't be an efficient way to do this. Okay. Trying to get all that stuff in there. Some sawdust, some stuff. Sawdust, some plastic. Yeah, and am I going to get in trouble from my wife for using this olive oil? The answer to that is probably not. We went on a trip, and we had the VRBO or whatnot, and all right, I'm going to call that good. Shake that up. Yeah, okay. And you can see it's all mashed together. And we'll just see what happens overnight. We'll see what happens overnight. We'll see if the plastic settles out. And the plastic should settle out of this because it's more dense than the olive oil. And then I don't know what the sawdust is going to do. I don't know if the sawdust is going to sink to the bottom, float to the top. But actually, let's get a little more in there. Just a little more. All right. Just a little more. Okay, and shake-a-rooney. All right, guys, let this set up overnight, and we'll see what happens. All right, thanks. See you. Bye. I got a little carried away when I was putting the sawdust and the plastic into the pitcher here. I'm sure it'll settle out overnight, but you can see it's chunky all the way to the bottom now, so we're just gonna top that up with a little water, give it some more room to make these delineations a little easier to see. So when we come back tomorrow and there's more water in here, at least you know why. All right, guys, thanks. Bye. All right, well, we're just checking in the morning. We're about to go sit down at the old computer and do some work, but you can see a good portion of the sawdust is settled out. Most of the plastics come to the top. I'm going to agitate this, and then I'm going to go work, and this afternoon we'll see what we look like. So far, so good. And our olive oil experiment, I think I just wasted something because it's kind of artistic, but I'm not seeing... I guess the sawdust is mostly at the bottom, but it didn't do a good job of separating it. Must be too close in unit weight. Okay, boys and girls, it's been, about 24 hours since I mixed the sawdust and the HDPE dust together in the bucket. And you can see this is almost all plastic. There's probably some sawdust stuck in there, but it's not too bad. We see down here we got about a 1/2 inch of sawdust that came out. So I'm gonna peel this off. I'll probably do that in a separate video. Peel this off, cook it down. As you can see here, some of the plastic has sunk to the bottom. I don't know what that's about. Maybe there's a piece of metal or paper or something attached to it. I'll check that out. But generally it looks like all the plastic is up and all the sawdust is down. So this looks like a reasonably effective method for separating the sawdust from the plastic. Also, just for the curious, the olive oil, you can see the olive oil came up, the plastic went down, but so did the sawdust, so that's not going to be an effective mechanism to separate the two. Hey guys, sorry I forgot to turn on the old camera, but I'm using a ladle with the holes in it to pull my plastic off the top of this water, putting it in the tray, just dipping her out. As you can see, I mean, there might be some wood flakes in there, some leaves or whatever off of my garage floor, but not too bad. Not too bad. And we're going to chuck this in the oven and just see what happens. I mean, this should melt down nice, you know. It's got a lot of water in there that's going to cool it, but, you know, I would call this a success. And, you know, probably something to be said for working on a surface that can take a little bit of water. Also, we've got the toaster oven. I've got it set at about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in like standard real units because I live in America, but I had it up at 450, but I had a little burning smell, and that burning smell is probably from the little bits of plastic that have fallen out of this guy. Anyway, we're going to take the tray, and you can see in the corner there's a little bit of water left in there, but that'll just boil off. It shouldn't be a big deal. All right, thanks, guys.
Okay, boys and girls, I went ahead and turned that into a block of plastic. That plastic we recovered off of the water, and it's still a little sawdusty. I guess I didn't wait quite long enough for everything to get totally waterlogged and settled to the bottom. I think the concept is good. I got another one going in a 5-gallon bucket. Maybe the thing to do is sweep up every day and skim it off the top later on. Of course, if you got a 5-gallon bucket full of water, you got to protect yourself from mosquitoes. All right, thanks.